97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray, along with Wayne Cotto, co-hosting today, and we have a great guest for you today. Anthony from Baker Marine is here, the binocular experts, and we're going to be talking some great binoculars and how to see those fish. So you stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of year again. San Diego Monster Jam is back, and your San Diego County Ford dealers can get you close to the action. This month, Monster Jam is happening at Snapdragon Stadium on January 10th and 11th. Visit your local Ford dealer to take a test drive and receive exclusive complimentary pit passes for Monster Jam. That's right. Come drive a Ford F-150, Bronco, or Explorer and get those pit passes to see Gravedigger and Velociraptor up close and personal while supplies last. Visit buyfordnow.com to find your participating local San Diego County Ford dealer for Monster Jam pit passes today.
Are you ready for reliability? Then you're ready for a Yamaha outboard. And there's no better time to jump on board than during our Ready for Reliability sales event. From now until March 31st, 2026, eligible new Yamaha 30 to 450 horsepower outboards get 2 additional years of warranty protection for a total of up to 7 years of warranty coverage. Plus, Yamaha 2.5 to 25 horsepower outboards come with up to $200 in dealer credit. Get ready to enjoy Yamaha reliability with a new outboard today. Visit your local Yamaha dealer for details. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2026. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. 24-month Yamaha extended service added to 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Boy, we got a great show for you today. We got Anthony from Baker Marine. We're going to be talking everything about binoculars. If you've got questions, make sure you guys call those in, 833-288-0973. Or better yet, make sure you guys text the show. Go to the Let's Talk Hookup app, download the app. Make sure you guys put your name and your phone number in there so we can reward you the prize. Boy, do we have a good prize for you today. One lucky caller or texter will win a pair of Costa sunglasses, the Reflecton Reefton Pro. The Reefton Pro with gray frame, gray silver mirror, and the 580 glass. Boy, are those a great pair of sunglasses.
Good visuals. Take them off and then look through your Baker Marine binoculars. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning. How are you?
Great to have you.
It's good to be here.
All right. Hey, before we move on, I want to wish a big happy birthday to Waylon Maxa. The whole family's on their way up to Universal Studios today.
Woohoo!
And that's why Ricky's not here today, and doing the family outing this weekend up there. And so Waylon, it's Wyatt's birthday, not Waylon. My bad there, Wyatt. So it's Wyatt's birthday. So but the whole family's on their way up there, and Dallas is up there, and Carly and their mom, and the whole family. So and of course Waylon's there too, but it's Wyatt's birthday, so happy birthday. I think Wyatt's 4 now, I believe. Is that right? I think that's about right. So but Wyatt Maxa, but happy birthday, Wyatt, and hope you guys have a great time there up at Universal Studios. I think the kids' eyes will be nice and wide, right?
Fun times.
Yeah, should be a good time. So what's been going on at Baker Marine?
Not much. We are in our kind of mellow season where we're taking care of all the local fleets as they're out and out of the water doing, repairs and whatnot.
Sure.
We've got a lot of their stuff in, just
you
doing
must get
general
piled
maintenance.
Up with binoculars at this time.
We do. I'm just seeing the end of it now. And then right as I see the end of it, it'll start back up as the fish arrive and people start looking at their gear, more of the more of the weekender guys.
So what are some of the repair issues that you see with the gyro binoculars?
Well, like we talked about last time, this time of year, I'll see a lot of battery corrosion. So take a look at your binoculars now, make sure those batteries are out and clean. And then really the biggest one is dropping them, abusing them, replacing motors, aligning the binoculars, just doing general cleaning and servicing.
Yeah. And so like you say, always take the batteries out, right?
Always.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who leaves their batteries in their gyros just because of that.
Well, I'll bet sport boats guys.
Well, maybe
do.
because they use them every day.
They use them every day.
But you got to replace them. So
yeah, but that's one of the biggest things.
That's the biggest one. Yeah, I'll see that in the next month or two. I'll get a lot of sad customers coming in thinking, I know, I always do. I always take the batteries out, but this time I didn't, and it can only take once.
Yeah,
so we'll do a lot of those cleanings.
Sure. Now, one thing I always think about is if your boat's living in the salt. If your boat's living in salt water, not on a trailer in the yard, and you leave your binoculars on the boat and you have it in a nice case, like a Pelican case or something sealed, is that fine?
Absolutely.
It's not going to get corroded or anything.
No.
Be sure to take the batteries out, of course.
As long as you take the batteries out and you don't put them away wet. I see a lot of that on the smaller boats. The binocular gets splashed by salt water, and maybe the case stays open and gets a little bit of moisture in it, and then you seal all that up and put it away for a couple of months. That creates a problem.
That'd be a good place to put some of those moisture packets in there.
Absolutely.
You save those from your food.
Okay, that's you throw a couple in there. That helps.
Packs. I see a lot of guys from Hawaii doing that.
Oh, no,
very
kidding.
moist and humid.
Sure,
and even keeping that spongy case open, during the day, or in Florida where you're going to suck in some of that moisture, and seal all it up and put it away. You've got yourself a little baking oven in there.
Yeah, with moisture. And that's corrosion.
Not ideal. Yeah.
And so is that the worst enemy other than dropping the binoculars?
Yeah, they're waterproof. So, I'd rather see them drop in the water before hitting, the deck.
Yeah. So with the advent of gyros, do you sell a lot of the traditional 7x50 bakers anymore?
Not as much.
Yeah.
Not as much. I just got a fresh order of those in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We would sell hundreds and hundreds of those a year.
Yeah.
Not as much. With the price of the stabilized binoculars nowadays, it's almost a no-brainer. You get yourself one of those and maybe a pair of 7x50s for guests.
For backup. Yeah. Because to see close.
Yeah.
That's a lot of times what I do is put somebody in a 7x50 and then you're in the gyros. You miss stuff that's close, 100%. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking over a lot all of a sudden, you're on a patty and didn't see it.
Yeah. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah. Oh, more eyes, the better, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so that's
an
extra binoculars on board to just hand to somebody without handing them something expensive is nice.
Yeah. Definitely. And those 7x50s are very affordable too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the bakers are just rock solid.
Yep. Right at $400. You can compare them to anything out there that's in the $1,000 range and really barely see the difference. Not the $500-$600 difference that they are.
Right. What is the number one seller on the gyros for you?
The TSX. Fujinon 1440 TSX. Yeah. That is the most popular. It's priced right. Great binocular. Very dependable, and it performs very well. It performs like a gyro, without spending the $5,000 or $6,000.
Yeah,
you take that next step, and it's very noticeable. But for the price, you can't beat the $1,500 for a TSX.
Well, the difference between being on a sport boat doing it for a living and the height of a sport boat versus being on a private boat, spending the $1,500 versus $6,000, can you tell the difference on a private boat?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You're not getting the height to be able to see that distance anyway, for the most part.
For sure.
So it's hard. So we got a lot of new listeners on the show. Why don't you go back and give them the basics? What does the 7x50 actually define?
Yeah, so your first number in a binocular is always the magnification or the power. So it's the multiplier of your naked eye. So that's 7 power. We're 7 times naked eye. The second number, 50, is the millimeter of objective lens. So the size of that objective lens. So on a 7x50, 7 power, 50 millimeter objective lens. It's really the perfect combination of power and field of view. As you increase that 50, if we were at a 7x80, you'd be a little bit bigger, a little bit wider of a field of view. If you're at a 7x30, very narrow. With that, you're not allowing as much light to come in. So at a 7x30, you might not be as bright as a 7x50. So 7 with 50 is just a beautiful wide angle, not too powerful, but just a perfect all around binocular. At
Something you can
750.
hold on a rocking boat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what happens when you go to 1440? So this is a stabilized binocular. You have to be
You
stabilized.
have to be stabilized at 14. Even standing here, if I was to put my elbows on the table and hold a 14 power, it would still be a little difficult to really read a CF number across the way, or see a bird. It's at 14 magnification. We're magnifying everything at 14, just the breath, the heartbeat. You can see your heartbeat while looking through the binoculars at 14 power. So adding that stabilization cleans all of that up, and then you're able to actually use it on a boat or a car or plane.
So is it twice as powerful? Is 14 twice as powerful as 7?
Yep. So you're seeing twice as close, but what you are also doing is you're narrowing that vision down almost twice as much with that extra doubling of power.
I see. So the 40 is half as wide as a 50?
No, it's more the 7 is twice as wide as the 14.
Oh,
now,
gotcha.
if we were comparing apples to apples, it would be a 14x50 and a 7x50, in which the 7x50 would almost double your field of view. It's not as true as 1-to-1, but it's a good way of looking at it. So as you increase that power up, everything's going to get narrower.
The interesting part is, okay, you're sitting on a sport boat and you go upstairs and you get on those gyros. You're looking so far.
Yeah.
The hard part for me to learn was distance. You could be an hour away from some of that stuff, right? So the one thing that I see on gyros that I wish were there was, 1, a rangefinder, and 2, a compass.
Right.
Because you're sitting there and you're holding them, and then you're sitting there going, it's over there, and you're pointing, and then you got to find it again. But if you could say, oh, it's at 180 or whatever, and it's the distance is 3 miles, it'd make it so much easier for everybody. But that's something you have to learn.
Yeah. You're not the first person to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, the gyros, they really don't make those, right?
They don't.
Not the gyros.
No compass integration with the gyros. We do have that on the 750, so it's a nice little option.
Right.
And then no rangefinder. The problem with rangefinders is just, you're looking at 1 or 2 miles, and those type of rangefinders are military grade and very expensive.
Yeah. So what's the difference between the TSX 1440 by Fujinon and then the True Gyro?
The True Gyro. The True Gyro has a half-pound flywheel inside that's spinning up at 14,000 RPM. That's creating a gyro effect. And so when you release the optics onto that gyro, you're using that spinning motor for your stabilization. Whereas the TSX has servos inside, and the servos are moving to servos and sensors. So the sensors are picking up your movement and then controlling the internal glass, the internal prism. What we're doing in stabilized binoculars is stabilizing the prism assembly. That's the internal glass. And so you can either do it with a gyro, having that gyro spinning inside and creating a gyro, or having the servos mounted on the exterior of the glass, controlling your X and Y axes. So the gyro is just going to be a lot more stable, a lot stiffer, if you will, of an image, where the servos tend to float around a little bit more. You get more action with the servos, you'll get more range of stabilization, but it's not as rock solid.
Gotcha. It's pretty solid though on that TSX.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's pretty unbelievable. I mean, I've seen both, and I have the regular gyro, and I don't a lot of times see a lot of difference.
Really,
to be honest with you.
It's getting to the point where it's
because those TSX have improved over the years.
They
right?
have.
The
they
technology.
Have. The last iteration of them about 3 years ago increased stability by about 20%.
Wow.
Got the optics. They changed the optical configuration around a little bit where it just makes it easier to get up to your eye. The focal point isn't as critical to where if you ever looked through a pair of binoculars where you just can't really get a good solid single image. Your eye has to be just perfect on the lens. With the new TSX, there's room for error and not really notice it.
Yeah. But the Stabiscope is still for the professional guy.
Yeah. If you're looking through the binoculars all day long, they're so comfortable to look through.
What's the difference in the weight?
About a pound. I want to say.
The stabby scope is
Stabby
a pound
scope's
heavier.
about a pound,
Which is a
pound
lot
heavier.
when you're holding them like this for hours.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. It's like if they could ever figure out how to make it so that you can hold them without having to stabilize your arms and getting those weird positions, like you hold those for a long time up on the decks on the sport boats. It gets heavy after a while. You have to put your arms down somewhere and stabilize.
Do they even still make Frasers?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe they're doing rebuilds.
Yeah.
Refurbished.
And do you
units.
still repair those?
I don't.
You
They
don't.
took all of that repair in house last year
Yeah.
when they went out of business, and then they redid themselves as a new entity. And so they want to bring the repairs in house anymore.
Yeah.
So I can do a little bit here and there with them, but I have no more parts.
Yeah. But Fujinon is something that's going to be there for a long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's, I mean, if I were to buy a pair today, you want to stick with Fujinon because you know they're going to be here for the future. There's going to be parts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They've been around since 1930 something, just as long as we have. I think we're 36, and I think they're 30.
Baker Marine was started in 36 by your grandfather,
by Captain Baker.
Captain Baker.
Yeah, Captain Baker started it down at the foot of Broadway in the early 40s and moved to Shelter Island in the 50s.
Wow.
On Shelter Island, we were actually on Byron Street. That was where we were, 2425 Byron Street. So before Shelter Island had actually been made, but same location.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So exactly where you are used to be called Byron Street.
Yep.
Before they even constructed Shelter Island.
Yep, we were the Byron Street Mole. If anybody's heard of the Byron Street Mole, we were just a little bit of a peninsula out there on Byron Street.
Classic.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Because when did they build Shelter Island?
49, I think, is when they
49.
started construction. When they were dredging the bay, they were dumping the sand onto the island there and just filling in the natural sandbar. And by 50, they were starting construction of the roads and doing the landscaping. Bally High, I think, started construction in the mid 50s.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So one of the binoculars that we haven't talked about are the lighter weight stabilized binoculars that I just love those. They're not for boats.
Correct.
I've used it on my boat. It works okay, but it's not the TSX 1440.
Correct.
It's not the right tool for that. But for traveling, for hunters, for people on a cruise boat, whatever, it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that binocular.
Yeah, as a general binocular, it's perfect. I had a lot of my customers bring in their stabby scopes hunting, deer hunting, or techno stabbies, to a ball game. And it's a bulky, big binocular to carry around. And so I had guys falling down cliffs with their stabby scopes, getting their techno stabbies taken at ball games. I thought we need to get a small stabilized binocular.
Taken at the ball game. They wouldn't let them bring.
This looks like a booze holder, You don't know about this.
Yeah.
So, either.
I'm still trying to figure out why you need them at a ball game anyway, but okay.
It's a lot. But yeah, small little stabilized binocular, high power. You're able to still use that 14 power binocular, but just in a small profile.
Are they 1440s?
They're 1440s.
Wow.
They're just not going to have that same stabilization as the TSX
Because it's electronic versus.
It's actually very similar in the way everything's going. It's sensors and servos. It's just everything's on a smaller scale.
Yeah. And they are truly amazing. Like I use them, like I say, for out in the field. I take them everywhere. And whenever I travel with them. And then in Montana, I take them on the boat because on a lake, they're great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I can see exactly what fly they're having.
Well, I'm thinking up in Alaska, they'd be beautiful.
Oh, they're fantastic up there. Yeah.
Perfect
really
for Alaska.
amazing. And the clarity and the power and the weight of that.
They're perfect.
Just throw it in your backpack. It's easy. But the problem is you sold out of them.
I did. I sold out. They went quick this last year. I've got some coming in, hopefully at the end of this month, if not early February, and we'll be back at it selling them. And the price range is perfect for those at $7.99.
$7.99.
Yeah,
for a
very
phenomenal pair of
very
binoculars.
reasonable.
I hope you ordered a lot because you're going to the PCS show, right?
Correct. Yep. Coming up soon.
You're going to have to
in
need
March,
a lot of those.
right?
Yeah,
That
a
price
lot of
range.
both.
Yeah.
So can you come to the booth, the Baker Marine booth at PCS, and actually walk out with a pair of binoculars?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we bring only Fujinon. I don't bring any of my house
Right.
brand, my 750s or my stabilizers.
Okay.
But yeah, absolutely. But until I run out, I can only bring up so much. But the last few years, we've sold boxes and boxes of TSXs and Stabby scopes and some of their smaller stuff as well.
Yeah, because they also make a very small stabilized binocular. Right?
They do. It's almost a pocket stabilized.
It's
binocular.
unbelievable, and
Yeah. It's they make it a 12-28 and a 16-28. So now we're talking 28 millimeter objective lens. So compact binocular.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the very definition of a compact
literally you can put it in
binocular.
your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's that powerful.
Yep, the 16s are awesome.
What
I
batteries?
really
What
like-
batteries you put in that?
Those are a CR.
Oh, they're the little watch batteries.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a watch battery, bigger than a watch
Yeah,
battery, but
2023s or something like that. 2016s. Yeah.
But the smaller Baker stabilized, you just use one
double
AA.
A. Mhm.
And that's it.
Easy to
And it
find.
lasts
easy to
forever.
use. Yeah, I think I've only replaced my battery once.
Yeah.
in my
Me
unit.
too.
Yeah,
Really? A triple A.
one double A.
Double A.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Versus the other ones are taking what?
Four double A's, pretty
And
much
the
every day.
TSX, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Daily.
But there's a lot to move.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. As you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you today. Anthony is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to one of the most important tools on your boat, the
Absolutely.
binocular.
Boy, I don't know about you, but we got so many questions that are coming in. Don't forget, you can call in to the show, 833-288-0973. And, we want to hear from you. And better yet, use the app. Text into the show, leave your name and your phone number, and you can download that app for free and listen live, and you can listen to the archives, right? And take it on the road. So included with this prize, we got one lucky caller or texter is going to win a pair of Costa sunglasses, the Reef Done Pro, the gray frame with the gray silver mirror lens, and the 580 glass. Kyle is standing by to take your calls at the fan for your chance. Remember, 833-288-0973. And when we come back, we'll be taking those calls, reading your texts, plus the catch reports, and a whole lot more. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on Southern California's Sport Fishing Voice. Let's Talk Hookup on the app, Facebook Live, and YouTube.
Experience the magic of Haida Gwaii Islands, British Columbia, Canada, at Haida Gwaii Safaris, formerly Queen Charlotte Safaris. Hi, I'm Valerie Hopridge. 25 years ago, I fell in love with these incredible islands, breathtaking scenery and wildlife, warm community, and truly phenomenal fishing. That passion inspired me to open my own fishing lodge. Just steps away from the Sandspit Harbor at Haida Gwaii Safaris, you will be fishing pristine, unpressured waters for Chinook salmon, halibut, John lingcod, and more. Plus, be surrounded by untouched beauty and wildlife. All of us at Haida Gwaii Safaris have exciting news. We now have our own charter flight to and from Sandspit out of Vancouver, making your trip easier than ever. We pride ourselves on creating unforgettable adventures that turn the first-time guests into longtime friends. You will come for the fishing and you'll come back for the memories. We are booking now. Please call 1-877-815-2892 or visit us at qcsafaris.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Haida Gwaii Safaris, where unforgettable memories are made one catch at a time.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time in the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com.
Hi, this is Christy Wheeler with Dawson & Associates Insurance, your full-service agency specializing in boat insurance, including charter, commercial, and personal use boats, business insurance, and travel insurance. We work hard to get you the most coverage for the best prices and guarantee the lowest rates available on all the travel plans we offer. So give us a call today at Dawson & Associates Insurance at 619-460-5615 for a free quote today.
Captain Jamie Tennis from Seasoned Sport Fishing here. For the past few seasons, a dart-styled metal jig has come into play in a big way for tuna offshore or even rockfish down deep. AFCO's crossbreed jig has quickly become the go-to for many since it came onto the market. AFCO's crossbreed jig is good to go right out of the package with a 4X treble hook, heavy-duty split rings, West Coast colors, and sizes 60 gram to 120 gram. Pick one up today at your local tackle store or learn more on afco.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, we're going to have a really good show. We got Anthony from Baker Marine here.
So exciting. And we have Captain Frank Lopresti on the line. Good morning, Frank.
Morning, Frank.
And you got Baker Marine on there, and you know that's one of the outfits that has taken care of us on the Royal Polaris. Anthony and his dad for I can't remember how long, forever. And they've always done such a fantastic job. They are so good, and they get if it's repairs, they get it out in a hurry. And every set of binoculars we've ever bought have been bought through Baker Marine. So kudos to those guys. Meanwhile, I want to tell you that Jonathan is scratched. He didn't get to where he was going till about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Picked up about 25 wahoo, a few 50-pound tuna, and I hope to get a better report this evening, but at least he's scratching, okay?
Yeah.
Well, he's only got 18 passengers.
Oh, my.
That's our limited
25
limited trip.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And in the meantime, the Shogun's in the yard getting its repair done, his annual repair, right?
Yep, we're doing all kinds of stuff on there and doing a lot of upgrading. So,
oh, that's cool.
Getting things done on the Shogun. Renee's been doing a good job. His crew's doing a great job. The Polaris Supreme's out of the water. We're getting things done there. Aliar's all over it, and things are moving along really, really well.
Where do they haul the Polaris Supreme?
Driscoll's Boat Yard, right across the bay.
Oh, okay, it's right here. We can see it from the world headquarters right here. Then, all right, great.
No, Driscoll's Mission Bay.
Oh, in Mission Bay. Okay, on the other side. Okay,
right across the bay from where they park.
Right. Yeah, right
I've
there.
got a few of the Supreme binoculars in my shop right now.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
Okay, getting maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, annual maintenance. Well, Frank, great to hear from you. Thanks for the report. Hopefully the fishing picks up for Jonathan and the whole long-range fleet. And maybe tomorrow you'll call us up with some big fish.
I got a question for you. Do you think Aliar even uses those binoculars?
What do you think?
I'll guarantee you they're in his face all day long.
Yeah.
That guy's
They're very well used.
Yeah. And he uses the stabby scope.
Yeah.
The Fujinon stabby.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the one.
All right,
Frank,
you guys take care.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
Frank.
much for the report. Appreciate it. Nice to hear from Captain Frank Lopresti there for sure. You have a great text.
I do. We got Gene in Long Beach. Good morning, my guys. The question, I have a pair of TSX 40s, and I was wondering, how and when will I know if I need servicing, or do I just have to wait and do it on a yearly basis?
So the beauty of those is there is no annual service or oil change or anything like that. You use them until they go. You'll know when you start to see that stability degrade or just stop. If you're a guy like me and using them a few times a week, that'll probably be in sometime in 2030 something. Not unless they're dropped, those things go for a very long time. But like I said, the TSX,
the CSX.
Mm-hmm.
So less maintenance than the stabby scope.
Yeah, neither one really needs maintenance.
Yeah.
I don't need to take them apart and lube bearings or replace servos. It's you use them until they go, and like I said, you're looking at about 10 years.
Wow.
And then servos do need to be replaced, and so at that point in time, you can get one rebuilt for about a quarter of the cost of a new one, and it comes back like new.
Wow, very good. Well, let's jump into the phones, Wayne.
Yeah, let's hear from John from San Diego. What's going on, John?
Good morning, guys. I wanted to ask, on those binoculars, do they offer any kind of coatings or filters, for instance, anti-glare or polarization?
Yeah, we have a polarized filter. So I've got two options on that. A polarization filter, which is very nice for the afternoons or the gray days where you've got a big, huge glare. I really like those. Those are actually I've had those on back order for months and months. I should have those fairly soon. So you hit me up maybe next month and I'll have the polarized filters. They also make an orange filter, which is very nice for the foggy days, the haze days. It brightens everything up. You get a little bit more contrast and you can really see patties pop. You can see, anything really pop that's different on the water.
And
so
that's on the TSX or
TSX or stabby scope.
Or stabby scope.
Both the same filter. So yeah, they're interchangeable. So if you've got a pair of TSXs and a pair of stabby scopes, one filter set you could use on either.
And where do you put them?
On the objective. So
On
this
the
is the
objective.
40 millimeter
Okay.
end of the binocular.
On the part you look through.
Other side.
Oh, on the other side. Okay. I don't know my front from
Yeah,
back. On
I
that
mean-
one. So the objective is
the big side.
side.
The
It's
big
side.
end. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And it just fits right on the
It threads on to those
Threads
threads
on,
there.
okay.
And the polarized is a circular polarization, so you can kind of turn that polarization on or off depending on if you want it or you want a little bit less dark. But the beauty of those is they're not ridiculously dark like your sunglasses are.
Yeah.
You're cutting that glare, but you're not diminishing the brightness.
So if you're running toward bright sunlight,
Yeah,
those are really
they're
helpful.
key. I mean, I've been out there tons of times without them, and it the sun gets down low and it kind of shuts off a third of
Yeah.
what you're looking at because you
Agreed.
just can't look into that area.
And
So the
that
polarizes.
just brings it right out.
And we
Very,
tried,
very
we
nice for
tried
that.
using our sunglasses through the binoculars. That doesn't work either.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's too hard on your eyes and your nose.
For sure.
Now, what about the Baker is famous for their eye shields?
Mhm.
Do the eye shields fit on the
Either one. Yep.
On either
the
one.
TSX, we have an adapter for those. So you have to send them in, or I can kind of walk you through it over the phone. We take off the existing eye cups. We put an adapter on that, and then it fits the face shield very, very nicely. The stabby scopes, there's a little bit of a configuration I do to those to make them fit the face shield, but it's a nice add. So it makes it easy to hold it up.
Absolute.
And I actually have them for your binoculars too. If you ever wanted to switch to that, I've
really?
got an
Okay.
adapter.
For the lightweight ones.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. No, those are they make all the difference in the world because it kind of you can keep it against your face much more comfortably,
Mhm.
as well as keep out any exterior light too, right?
Yep. You can really focus down on what you're looking at.
Yes.
Not be distracted by outside light. And then it helps stabilize. I think you're using your upper body, you're using your head and neck to hold the binoculars versus just your arms.
Uh-huh. And that's an exclusive that you guys have.
Yep.
Nobody else has that kind of
Absolutely.
thing. Yeah. Did you develop those?
They were a Navy design from the 40s that we, improved on and have the molds too, and then got new molds made, and we've been the only ones selling them for half a century.
Once you
Wow.
have them, you don't go back.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, no question. Hey, Tom in Northern California has a good question. He says, great show as always. Do the 1440s work best with alkaline or will they work with nickel metal hydride?
They work the same. However, you will get you run the risk of having alkaline leak in those binoculars with alkaline batteries. The performance, you won't notice a difference, but longevity, you're better off with the nickel metal hydrides.
Yeah. You turned me on to those ones. I basically bought them on Amazon. And I think it's the Energizer, and it comes with the charger, nickel metal hydrides. Pop them in your wall socket, and they're always there.
Always there, ready to go.
Yeah.
No, and the biggest thing is just no leaking. And then on the TSX, you actually will.
There's no leaking in nickel metal hydride.
No.
Versus the alkaline.
The
will leak.
alkalines will sweat and leak.
Ah.
And then with the TSX, and maybe even mine, I should do a battery test on those. You'll get 18 hours of use versus 10 hours of use with the nickel metal hydrides.
Big
So
difference.
You're getting longer longevity
Yeah.
on the runtime.
And they're not that expensive.
No, they're very reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be at least over 2,500 milliamps hours, which is not hard to find. Most of them now are above the 2,500 mark.
Yeah. You have another good one, huh, Wayne?
Yeah, we got Robert in Canyon Country. He's asking, great show. Are there any plans to create a remote control telescope and a screen for the wheelhouse? Take the FLIR system to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, they've got those things. They're expensive. I don't intend on selling them or working on them.
Well, let's take a call. We
let's
got
jump
John
into
in Escondido. What's going on, John?
Hey, gentlemen. So I don't have a boat, but I hunt. And so what would be a good binocular for hunting?
Our Baker 1442 SE, like Pete has here, is a great binocular for that.
Fantastic.
It's small enough.
$7.99.
Yeah.
It's the no-brainer.
Yeah, the price is right on those. The size is right. If you wanted to go smaller, Fujinon does have a few of those 28 millimeter objective lens binoculars that I was speaking of earlier. But the problem with those is light transmission. It's not going to be as bright for those important times at low light.
Like
you know,
low light
Mhm.
versus your
They're going to be a lot
40,
brighter at the
40s or-
42 millimeter objective lens.
Yeah.
So those are great. I love them. That's what I use. That's my go-to.
And they
for
don't.
hunting.
What do they weigh?
Poof.
Less than a pound.
Yeah, less than a pound.
Yeah.
Just under a pound, I think, or 14 or 15 ounces.
Yeah, and versus the Fuji 9s are super cool. They're very small, very lightweight. But I found that the light situation, especially in low light conditions, your Bakers,
you're almost half the size for objective, so you're just not gathering all of that light. Yeah, great for the middle of the day, great for pocketing, but those important times, right before it's getting dark, when you're trying to count antlers or see what you're looking at, it's a little difficult at 28 millimeters.
I know Mike from the Tribute has a pair, and he just loves them.
Absolutely,
he's a big hunter. You said they should be in here certainly by PCS, but
I would think
within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I would think at the latest mid-month next month.
And if you're not in San Diego, can't drive by the Shelter Island location, can you order them online?
Absolutely.
Or can you order them on the phone?
On the phone, online. Right now, I do have it as an option to get notified when we do have them back in stock. So you can go on to bakermarine.com, find those binoculars, click a few buttons, and we'll give you a shout when we've got them back.
Oh, okay, so you'll take it's not a back order necessarily, but just like a watch.
Notify me. Yeah.
Didn't get a name on this one, so no glasses for you. But it says, "Love my 1440s. The eyepiece is a must. Thanks to Baker for all the support of CCA California." So want to thank whoever sent that.
Yes, absolutely.
That is true for sure.
Absolutely. So we got another one here. Jolene Thompson. We know her. She's the
Jolene.
queen. Hey, good morning, guys. What a great, what other gyros and Bakers do people purchase? And outside of fishing, what other types of activities? I mean, right now we talked about baseball. We're talking about hunting, taking them up to Alaska, but what else? Other areas have you heard?
Yeah. Bird watching is a big one that we do. Any kind of travel where you're using binoculars. A safari, I get a lot of people buying those. And the nice thing about the stabilized is you can be running around in a Jeep on a safari and still be looking through binoculars.
Nice. And again, they travel so well because they're light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And again, we're bumping up to 14 power, which is twice the magnification of your normal binocular that most of us have been carrying around for a while. So anything that you would use a binocular for, you throw a stabilizer in it, and now you're using a much higher power binocular.
Yeah.
So even astronomy, got a lot of guys using the stabilized stuff for astronomy, because I can hand one of the Bakers to my kids and they can look up and see the moons on Jupiter.
Wow.
So it's pretty fun to look up into the sky as well. So I got a lot of folks getting into that. So you don't have to set up a telescope and do all of that. You can just give a little astronomy lesson in the backyard.
Yeah. That's a great idea. Hey, before we move on to our next call and text, if you want to get through, Kyle's standing by at the fan, 833-288-0973. In addition to Wyatt Max's birthday, it is also Jim Salazar's birthday this past
the lobster
Thursday.
guru himself.
The lobster guru. So happy 75 to Jim Salazar.
Wow.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Wow.
That's making me feel old. Okay, Jim. Right. Jim Salazar is 75, but happy birthday, Jim. You look very young and doing great too, for sure. And I also want to throw out a big get well to our good buddy Bob Vanian from 976 Bite. He's been having some health issues. I want to wish him well. And Bob's been a focal point and an important part of the San Diego sport fishing scene here for decades. And we wish Bob all the best and all well. And in addition to that, too, Arnie's wife, Jody, just getting ready to get out of the hospital. So get well, Jody, and you too, Bob. So
yeah, absolutely. Hope you guys both get well soon.
Yeah.
Hey, we got another text. Rob from Seal Beach. Good morning, everyone. I've had a pair of Techno Stabies for years. What improvements would a new pair have?
So like I mentioned before, about 20% more stability, which is very noticeable. You can really push those things around a lot without finding their limits. It's got the twist up eye cup, which makes it easier to get up against your face for a number of people, whether you have a deep eye socket like me and you kind of just got to jam everything in, or you're a little bit more shallow. There's range of motion there to configure them to your liking. Along with that, you've got the ability to use those nickel metal highlights, which give them hydrides.
Which on the old repair you can't.
You couldn't. They would burn through those batteries quickly. For some reason, the way that they've got those new servos dialed in, you actually get better economy on your batteries.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, those are the three main upgrades, if you will.
Yeah, those are big upgrades.
Mhm.
Yeah, huge upgrades. Now, on the Technostabby and the Stabby Scope, will you have those on sale in the Fujin in your booth at PCS?
Great time to pick those up, either of them.
Because it's supported by Fujinon, right? Your
Correct.
booth you're kind of coexisting with
Mhm.
Fujinon, so they're going to give a very nice incentive at the show.
Yeah, they help us out. I don't know what it's going to be yet, and even if I did, I don't think I'd be allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they always
So
hook
if you
us up
buy
with
them
a
at
good
the
little
show,
discount.
it's going to be
Mhm.
big deal for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, as you can hear, Kyle is standing by at the fan, taking your calls. Call 833-288-0973. And when we come back, we'll be taking those calls, reading texts, and plus the catch reports, and a whole lot more with Anthony from Baker Marine. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
Get ready for the most exciting sports show of the year, the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle, Boat, and Travel Show, presented by Geico. Now 2 great dates and locations. First, the giant 16th Annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, March 5th through the 8th at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Then, the first annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, San Diego, March 19th to the 22nd at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Check out hundreds of sport fishing exhibitors, manufacturers, tackle dealers, fishing boats, and fishing resorts, taking up the huge fairgrounds at both locations, plus fantastic seminars and free kids trout pond. Seminars featuring some of the top names in the industry, from catching giant bluefin, swordfish, calico bass, freshwater bass, trout, and more. Take advantage of incredible show specials from major tackle retailers and boat dealers. Talk to the top fishing travel destinations. Thursday, March 5th to Sunday, March 8th at the Orange County Fairgrounds in Costa Mesa, and in San Diego, March 19th to the 22nd at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Presented by Geico. Check sportfishingfestival.com.
Have you been looking for a live bait hook that keeps live bait alive? Look no further than Japan's leading fish hook, Gamakatsu. It's the little things that make the difference, and Gamakatsu hooks drive the point home. With an absolute perfect bend and ideal barbs, your bait swims harder and longer. And when you get bit, Gamakatsu hooks bite back with a vengeance. All hooks are not the same. Go with Gamakatsu for infinite success. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Check gamakatsu.com. Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Boy, we got a great show for you. Anthony from Baker Marine. We're talking everything binoculars today. And man, there's so many questions and texts coming in. Don't forget, call in 833-288-0973 or the Facebook, the YouTube app, and or the Let's Talk Hookup app, and we'll be taking your texts. And boy, do we have a good one right now. You got Brian here from San Diego. Hey, I have the stabilizer binos, the 7x50s, and I love them. I was wondering if Baker Marine can recommend what to use to clean the lenses. And it seems that the only issue I have are the lenses get a bit dirty sometimes.
Yeah, your best, what I like using, what I use at the shop all day, every day, is some soapy water. Soapy water as a start is a great start. You're able to break up that salt sprays, break up that dust. You're not rubbing dust or salt into the lens. So you get that off and out, and then come back with an alcohol or acetone pad and kind of clean up your streaks.
So just a standard alcohol pad you'd buy for lens cleaning?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are fine?
Yeah, but please don't start with that one. Use the soapy water first.
Use the soapy water first.
Get the grit out,
and
then come back. The alcohol or acetone would just be to clean up your streaks. from your initial clean.
Gotcha. That's a good call.
So microfibers are nice after you've gotten the junk up.
Got to get the junk off.
So a little squeeze bottle, air bottle, or light compressed air. Get the grit out
with a light,
with some soapy water, and then come back through with a microfiber and or an acetone or alcohol pad.
Well, now what about like Costa makes like a little spray bottle with some.
That stuff works. There's usually like an optical soap in there, which lubricates.
Yeah.
I do really like that. There's another product out there that I've used that I'm going to hopefully start carrying fairly soon. It's like an optical soap, and it just helps lubricate everything. And then of course you've got to clean that up. So you clean that up with either a microfiber or an acetone
The
pad.
best thing is to get the major dirt and dust and salt off first, and then go back on the actual.
That's the key.
Cleaning.
That's the key.
Good.
Yeah, get the
Same thing we
grime
do with
off.
our sunglasses, I believe.
Well,
Yeah,
sometimes.
most of us.
Yeah.
We're not
Well,
using-
that's a nice thing about the Costa 580s.
Exactly.
I just use my T-shirt on those things. Those things are durable.
But the spray actually gets all that grit and streakiness out, like you're saying. You know, after if
you want to
them
get
to be done.
that dirt off.
Yeah.
Because that's the stuff that scratches your.
That's
lens.
what's going to scratch it.
Yeah.
Those lenses are very strong and very durable, but you do that over and over again every day, and eventually you're going to start to see some coating degradation.
Yeah. Don't want that.
Don't want that.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, this portion of the show is sponsored by Dana Landing on Mission Bay, your one-stop shop for everything you need to go fishing. Complete deli, beverages, boating supplies, as well as San Diego's most complete saltwater tackle shop, too. Check out East County Bait and Tackle. You talk about freshwater fishing, and Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle too. They're the best for both fresh and saltwater tackle, along with live bait too. Dana Landing, of course, right next to the Dana Lawn Trap in Mission Bay, and ECBT, end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview in Lakeside, and Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is right on Broadway in Lemon Grove. Check danalanding.com for more information on all of those stores. And I have another good one here from Kurt in Vista, and Kurt writes in on our Let's Talk Hookup app that good morning, great show, guys, as always. Question on the 1414 Stabies. I purchased a used pair and was wondering if I would be looking at as far as cost in a general service to ensure they're operating properly, as I'm going to be taking a journey to Baja shortly. Thanks in advance and keep up the great work.
Yeah, Kurt, you're more than welcome to bring them down, and I can take a look at them, bench check them, clean them up. That's no charge. We do that as a service.
Wow.
At the time that you do need those to be refurbished, as you will, you're about $400 to go through them, and that's new stabilizing system, focusing system,
What?
internal boards, outer rubber. They come back looking new. I mean, they're practically new for about $400.
That's it. I would have thought a lot more than that.
Yeah, I mean, they can't if they
That's
took a
the
giant
1440
hit.
state. It's
the old style 1440.
The old style 1440.
Yeah, the new ones are a little bit more expensive to repair, but we're still talking less than half the cost of a new one.
If you have the old one, can you upgrade it to the new?
No, but we do trade-ins.
Oh, you do?
So if people are interested in getting a newer one, I can do a little bit of wheeling and dealing and get you into a new one and send the old one back for refurb and put it on my shelf for a refurb sale at some point in time.
Okay, all right, that's a good call.
It's like having a rebuilt engine thrown in, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know you could do that. Hey, we got another text here. Mike from Rosemead. He says, I have a tip that might work. And it goes back to what we talked about earlier. When you buy a lot of things nowadays, they come with those moisture packets. If you throw those in in your binos, can they reduce the moisture and content? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with
It's a
that.
good call. Yeah.
I get a lot of, like I said, from Hawaii and Florida, people have wisened up and then get a couple desiccant bags thrown into the case. It doesn't hurt.
It helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to do that on mine for sure. Because
you get those packets in your food nowadays, right? So they're trying to keep all your chips and snacks dry. And even I would say you could actually probably put a packet of rice in there also, put it in one of those net packages, right? And just cinch it up and put it in there because it's going to do the same thing. It'll absorb moisture along the way. That's easy.
Well, I mean, think about all the stuff you get with a decimate packet of gin, and you just end up throwing those things away. Just throw them in the bino pack.
For sure.
Yeah, keep them dry for sure. Some great text coming in. Appreciate that very much. And Kyle is standing by at the fan at 833-288-0973. Another one here is This is such a great and informative show. I have a pair of gyros. I'm curious about maintenance. When should I bring them in for maintenance? Is there a suggested frequency or more dependent to just to wear it and when you drop it or something like that? And that's Jimmy and San Marcos.
Yeah, it's just
so
wear.
We just talked about that.
Wear and dropping. I mean, again, if anybody wants to bring their stuff in for a quick bench check, we do it at no charge. I'll throw it in the collimator, check alignment, do a quick clean on it, a lens assessment. You can do that anytime you'd like if you're starting to worry about it.
Such a nice service. Yeah, especially this time of the year when maybe you're not out fishing as much.
It's a great time to do it.
Yeah,
great
come
time
in,
to do it.
And you do it while you wait, or just drop.
Yeah, typically we can do it while you wait, unless we're just elbows deep in binoculars and a lot of things going on. It might take a day, but usually I like to try to get people turned around quickly on something like that.
Just don't do it the first week in March when you're up at the PCS Costa
Correct.
Mesa, or the third week in March when you're in the Del Mar PCS.
I'll be out from Wednesday to Sunday.
We all will.
Right.
Do you man the show by yourself?
No, so I have a good friend helps me out, and then a gentleman from Fujinon that will come in as well. Okay. And so we'll 3-man it, and we've done pretty good with that configuration. So it's busy. It's a busy 3 days or 4 days. But I love it. It's a good time.
It's going fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The days are next thing you know, it's 5 o'clock and it's ready to go.
So if you have any technical stuff, the Fujinon guy will be there. Of course, you probably know more than the Fujinon guy.
For sure.
Yeah. You've been doing this for how long, Anthony?
Oh boy. I haven't counted in a bit. It's been at least 26 years. As like a full time.
Wow.
So you talked earlier about putting the polarized filter on the front of the binoculars.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that a little bit more? Because you talked about changing the direction of the polarization, and I don't think everybody understands that.
Yeah. So if you've ever looked through your polarized sunglasses and noticed as you turn your head, or sometimes you have to turn your head to look at a screen because it's cutting the glare. Right. It's the same kind of deal. So if you have your polarized, or if anybody's ever purchased a pair of polarized filters and it's just not working out for them, make sure that the polarization is lined up correctly. So one's on polarized and one's not. It's almost like having one glass on sideways.
If you've ever whenever you go buy polarized sunglasses, the first thing you do to check if it's polarized is get another pair and turn them 90 degrees, and they should go dark in front of your face.
Right.
Oh, is that right?
And the problem that you have is if you get a pair and they're offset, one's polarized 90 degrees off the other, you will get a headache so bad because it's like monovision. And so what you do is you check it against another pair and you turn it 90 degrees. If one side goes dark and the other side stays light, they're not lined up. And I don't think everybody knows that.
Yeah, I've seen some cheap sunglasses like that before, where they're not exactly polarized when you're wearing them. Right. You have to turn your head a little bit for that to work.
So explain that with the filter though. So the filter has a particular angle that it gets.
Yeah, it's a double ring. So you're able to thread those filters into the objective, and then tight may not be polarization on. So then there's a separate ring that you can just spin that lens around in circle to get it to where you want it.
And how do you know when the right spot is?
You'll know. You'll see the glare. It's you look into the sun or look into the glare, and you'll see that glare shut off or turn back on.
Oh, interesting.
And just making sure that those are lined up and even.
I mean, I would think that those polarized objectives are kind of a no-brainer. What do they cost?
That is a good question. Last time I was selling them last year, they were $120 for the set. I'm hoping that they stay the same, but I'll find out here hopefully soon.
Is that a Fujinon product?
It is.
It is. Okay.
Yeah. I've gone out and I've sourced other products for that. Camera lenses. None of them compare to the Fujinon polarized glass. They're really nice.
And will you have those at the PCS show?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I'm told March is when I'm getting them. So hopefully early March. That way I can bring them.
They probably sell pretty quickly, huh?
They do. I went through a ton of them last year quickly.
Sport boat guys buy them a lot?
Sport boat, private, you name it.
Yeah. Probably also good for protecting the real objective of your lens, right?
Yeah. At $100 a piece, if you were in those glasses very rarely ever need to be replaced. But when they do, each of those objective lenses is $100. So at $100 investment, you can protect both of them.
And you clean the filter the same way?
Yep. Same deal.
Yeah.
So there was a question of the quality of the lens, because you go on the hunting side and you go to scopes and the different manufacturers, because of the glass, right? What makes up the scope is very important.
Yeah.
Right. So there people are asking what is the level of the glass on the Fujinans?
It's some of the best. It's all Bach 4 prisms, which is top of the line, and then the coatings are very, very strong, very durable. They're what they call EBC coatings, an electronic beam coating, multi-layered, multi-phased. They're the best of the best.
Yeah, Fujinon optics are famous for being top of the line.
Yeah,
Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah.
They don't cheap out on anything on their glasses. Everything is top. Every lens surface is coated, where a lot of your cheaper binoculars, one, they won't be coated with a high quality coating, but two, they'll only coat the tops and the bottoms.
Wow.
Versus every little surface, every piece of glass.
Yeah. Well, as you can hear, we're at the end of the first hour. We have another full hour coming your way on Let's Talk Hookup. We'll be here with more from Anthony from Baker Marine coming your way. We're saying goodbye to Kyle on the fan, but you've got Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, and YouTube Live, and we'll be right back.
Hey guys, this is Ali Husseini from Local Knowledge and Media Outdoors. I'm a lucky guy in so many ways.
don't know when it
And one
starts
thing
to
I'm
rush
really
out.
grateful for is my little brother Yosef. Yosef is not only a fellow angler, but he's also an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find the ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free no obligation evaluation online now by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. That's SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address and you'll get a home value report immediately sent to your email. No pressure, no obligations, just answers. Yosef is the SoCal real estate go-to guy. He's helped me and so many of my fellow fishing buddies find what they're looking for in a home. He knows anglers and he understands the real estate market. Not only that, but he's also a really nice guy. How many brothers can you say that about? Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and find out where you stand in the real estate market, and then get with Yosef and find your ultimate home. Again, go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we'll see you on the water.
For local or long-range fishing, we have you covered. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Being a part of the San Diego Sport Fishing Landing gives us a distinct advantage when it comes to getting you on the latest and hottest tackle for your trip. Our expert staff knows exactly what you need for your long-range or local trip, and we will not sell you something you don't need. We carry a huge inventory of the right tackle. So visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service sport fishing operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the spacious and comfortable 85-foot Liberty. With bunks for your comfort, a huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Fisherman's Landing also boasts the best captains and crews in the business, from seasoned veterans to our young future legends. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Hello, this is Captain Mike Totter from Searcher Sport Fishing. Alongside my colleague, Chef Josh Evans, and our dedicated team, we invite you to join us aboard the Searcher. Our fishing trips range from 1.5 to 8 days, available May through November, and include charter options. We're committed to upholding a legacy of top-notch customer service, delicious food, and a friendly and talented crew. Book your fishing adventure online at searchersportfishing.com or call Rachel at 619-226-2403. That's searchersportfishing.com. We look forward to welcoming you aboard.
Do you know why 1 million customers visited Summit Gasoline last year at the San Diego Sports Arena? Because they give you the lowest price on fuel, great service, and easy access, even for trucks and trailers at their 24 pumps. Summit is known for the best price on ice, too. Almost half the cost of any other vendor. 25 pounds for just $3.99. Martha and her crew love fishermen, and they'll prove it by giving you 100 pounds free free with a 35-gallon fill-up. Summit offers over 40 snacks and drinks to choose from for only 89 cents, and even a line of hand creams and lip balms for 89 cents too. Summit now proudly offers locally made burritos and sandwiches, made fresh daily and ready to go wherever the current takes you. Summit just upgraded their car wash, and for a limited time, get a deluxe car wash for only $6. Grab the wife's car, grab a cheap sandwich, and make up for the day on the water. Summit Gasoline, lowest prices, friendliest staff, easy access, and free ice. What more can you ask for?
Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
And Wayne Cotto, of course. Pete Gray here, along with Wayne Cotto here in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here, right next to the San Diego Lemmings, right across from Baker Marine. We can almost see Baker Marine right here from the world headquarters there on Shelter Island Drive in Shelter Island. Anthony from Baker Marine is here having a great time talking fishing and talking binoculars. The most important tool other than your rod and reel when you're fishing is your gyro binoculars, and having a good pair of binoculars is just essential. And we're learning a lot. And now I'm going to have to buy a pair of those lens caps too.
The polarized
filters. Lenses. Yeah, I gotta have those. Yeah, because there are days you never know.
That glare we
you're
have
looking right in there.
Yeah, the glare, you're looking straight down it. And you got to have that.
Yeah.
You got to have that polarization.
Definitely.
It hurts your eyes so bad looking straight into the sun.
Oh, absolutely.
But like you said, you'll lose 30% of your vision. Of what you're trying to cover.
Yeah.
You
So we've got an exciting second hour here for you. And one of the things we're going to have is a brand new guy, Andy Giuliano from Fish Emeryville, is going to be talking in a little bit here. So stand by for that, talking about fish in the Bay Area, which is, and actually Wayne knows him. He's just been an essential part of that Bay Area fishery. It's just super. And so also, tell us about what we're winning today, Wayne.
Boy, do we have a great one. We have one lucky caller or texter is going to win a pair of Costa sunglasses. The Reefton Pro with the gray frame and the gray silver mirror lenses, the 580 glass. What a great pair of sunglasses to win today. To one lucky caller or texter. Remember, if you're going to win this on the texting side, which is all we can do on the second hour, make sure you download the app, use the text, and put your name and your phone number so that you can be into the drawing when Anthony flips the coin at the end of the show.
Absolutely. And time for the catch report, Wayne.
Yeah, we have the catch report with the fishdope.com report. The catch report is sponsored by Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get the premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system to book your processing for the long range trips. With more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. More same-day capacity and the finest customer service. Stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street. Check out fishermansprocessing.com and make your reservations today. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Good. Hey, good morning, Wayne, Pete, Anthony. Great show. So much information, man. I spent a lot of years looking through them binoculars, and I love hearing all this stuff, man.
Gotta have it, man.
Good morning.
Yeah. Every time Anthony's on, we just learn so much about not only the care, but how to make better use of our binoculars.
Both, and I heard you guys talking about that, not the regular battery, but that other kind of battery
Nickel metal
you were
hydride.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I got to get some more information on that. That seems pretty interesting.
Right? Amazon.com, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
Amazon's got them.
Okay.
You can go down to Walmart and pick them up.
Wherever.
Mm-hmm.
It's that, and most like that Energizer is the one that.
I like the Energizer's
Yeah.
the best. I like their little charging system that individually charges each battery, so you can tell if you've got two that are half charged and one that's full. It's not charging all of them.
It's not the old days.
They're nice little system.
Yeah. And if you plug them in, they're always good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's all good stuff. So our nice weather out here continues, guys. We all been enjoying it. Not too much wind offshore, hardly any actually. Still surprisingly warm water temperature for this time of year. It's over 60 almost everywhere.
Jeez.
And it's just crazy. And I was just looking at all the buoys The only buoy I found below 62 was at San Nicolas Island. Everything else is 62 and even 63 offshore. That's really good news for this time of year. So we'll see what all that leads to. But as you might expect along the coast here, that local bass fishing's holding up really well. And up in Santa Monica Bay, guys fishing the structure spots up there, man, that bass fishing's been pretty darn good there. Standard wintertime setup's working well. Squid on a 1.5 ounce lead head and a 30 pound or 40 pound. The heavier line works best for fishing that heavy structure those bass are hanging out in. So it gets a lot more fish on the boat and a lot less lead heads lost fishing that heavier gear. And also up that way, Danny was just telling me about this yesterday, up above the bay a little bit, above Point Doom in the deep hole zone, there's been some really good halibut fishing. And that whole sector up there, a lot of times there's a bunch of squid moves in, and I haven't heard if there's squid there, although I'm guessing there is. But that squid's a magnet for the halibut and the sea bass and the big yellows. It's a little hard to get to because there's no harbors really close by, but man, a lot of times it's worth it and not too much traffic up there most of the time. And we're also seeing some interest in the local halibut fishing here. There's been some along the Palos Verdes Peninsula, and then out on the traditional horseshoe kelp halibut zones there, it's starting to get more interest, and we're seeing more fish coming out of there out in front of the Pedro Gap like that, 60 to 90 feet for the most part on the edge of the hard bottom, and especially the hard bottom that has some bait schools around it. That's where you're going to find the halibuts there. But man, there's been some good ones, 20 to almost 30 pounds here this week. So that's a fun thing. Yeah, there's been some nice ones, and not too many people do it, but for this time of year, it's a way to catch big fish. Very little report from the islands. Surprisingly, with the nice weather, it's real easy to check Nick, Santa Barbara, San Clemente, but not too much coverage. Bass fishing at Clemente has been pretty good for sure, but haven't heard any exotics. Catalina, nothing worthy about yellows or sea bass here this past week, surprisingly, but been some good signal on the halibut. It got slow for a bit, and it looks like it's kind of rebounded and kind of bouncing back. And then with this nice weather we have and, virtually no swell, it's easy to fish those backside beaches up really tight. And a lot of that fish has been up there pretty darn shallow. So yeah, that's what we got for you this week. And we got another week of nice weather ahead of us, it looks like. So I think it's time to go fishing.
Yeah, it looks like a beautiful week coming up this week, right? After this little bit of a blow, and which really wasn't much of a blow at all, right? Looking fantastic. And of course, fishdope.com, always your best source. Year round, 365 days a year, those guys keep on it. And $30 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code Hookup Now, lowercase, no space, Hookup Now, your $30 code. And Mark, how do we find you?
Well, Pete, we're in Huntington Beach on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edger by the big Chevron station. And the phone number is area code 714-840-4262. The website's pacificedgetackle.com. And, man, we got nice weather and decent fishing. And, like I said, it's time to go fishing, guys.
Time to go fishing. And Mark, always appreciate you. And of course, now would be a really good time to order a Pacific Edge bait tank, I would think, right?
It would be. Yeah. We're usually just ridiculously busy almost all year for whatever reason. It's a little slower right at the moment. So timing is good. And we build a lot of really cool stuff. You'll see all the different pictures on our website of all the stuff we can do for you.
They are the best.
Yeah,
there's no question about it. Yeah, for sure. Hey, thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. We'll talk to you next Saturday.
You got it. We'll see you guys.
All right. Hey, appreciate that. Oh, Mark always has the inside of what's going on out there. Always good stuff. Yeah. And as we progress into now, it's like going to be island time, right?
Right.
February, March, April. You know when the sea bass are really going to bite full speed?
When you're out of town?
No. Well, that too. But when we're all at the PCS show in March.
Always.
Yeah, that always happens. Yeah, beginning of March there, it's like we'll get the report from Mark. Will go, hey, they're biting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a tough weekend.
Yeah, for sure. So you have a good text, huh?
Yeah, good morning, Anthony, Wayne, and Pete. Are you allowed to describe the actual mechanics of what makes the binocular so stable? Thanks, Harry, who's vacationing up in Napa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing secret about it. The The gyro stabilized, the Stabby scope of Fujinon has the heaviest flywheel in its class. I mean, it's a half pound. It's 4 times the weight of anything, that it competes with.
Wow.
So it's just a very, very stable binocular. I think we went over it a little bit last time. Its range of stability is 5 degrees. So it's actually less than the Techno Stabby. But what it does within those 5 degrees is just zero movement. It is the most stable, rock solid thing. And it's just because you've got that heavy flywheel spinning super fast inside.
How fast?
14,000 rotations per minute.
14,000 per minute.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really cranking. So you just got a heavy gyroscope inside the binocular.
Yeah.
And
that's why they're so stable.
That's why they're so stable.
More stable than Fraser's and everything.
Yeah, it's 4 times the weight that you're spinning there. So it's just rock solid.
So somebody who has never used a pair of stabilized binoculars, explain that startup procedure that you go through before you start using them.
Yeah, so you turn that binocular on and you'll start to hear it wind up. It takes about a minute for that gyro to get to full speed because it is cranking that big heavy weight. Once you hear that sound kind of even out, you're ready to go. On the Stabby scope, there's an actual lever there. It's a mechanical lever that you're opening an iris to allow everything to then float on the gyro. Otherwise, everything's just fixed and locked inside. So it's a mechanical unlock, and you open up that iris, and now you're floating on a half pound of spinning metal.
Wow. And basically a gyro is just like the old gyroscope we had when we were a kid. You could put it in your hand and move it around and stuff. It's basically the same concept, right?
Yep.
Spinning very quickly.
Very quickly. You can, if I'm doing a repair and one is just loud and obnoxious and it's still spinning, I'll sometimes get those things spinning for the customer, and you can hold it in your hand for about a minute before it wants to fall over. The rotations are getting too slow, but yeah, and you can feel it in your hand. I mean, it's a strong, powerful gyro.
Pretty amazing. And that's what keeps the binocular objective stable.
Steady. Yeah. The prisms. So we're getting the prisms internally are stabilizing on that gyro. They're actually attached to the gyro motor itself.
And that's what you're looking through. Interesting. Pretty amazing.
It's really cool.
It's
Anybody wants to see it in action, swing by the shop. I'll show you the internals and how it all works.
Okay. All right. That'd be cool. So what's the difference between the Techno Stabby and the Stab as far as startup? Is Techno Stabby is pretty much on. You turn it on,
it's instant. On. Yeah, it has an on button. You turn it on, it's in a standby. So the sensors are starting to sense and figure out what's up and down and left and right. That needs to be on for about a second before you actually fire them off. And that's just a second button push, and then they're working. So it's more of an instant. You can, on the fly. There's no warm up. There's no waiting for them, no wind up, waiting for them to get ready.
And then as far as caring for your binoculars, do you always want to turn them off the spin when you're
that's a good question.
Yeah, when you're not looking through it.
Yeah, heavily debated. I'm in the camp of, if you are going to turn them on and off, 3 or 4 times in the hour, just leave them on.
Really?
Yeah. That wind up and wind down will do some, making the motor work a little bit harder to get that thing spinning up and spinning down and spinning up.
So when you're putting them in your, putting them down, do you put them down horizontal or vertical because you got the gyro running?
Yeah, the gyro doesn't care.
Right.
However, if you are putting them down vertical, you do run the risk of them falling over.
Okay.
So that's
right.
why I always tell folks
leave them spinning.
Leave them spinning. Now, of course, if you get into a hot bite and you're going to be there for a while, go ahead and shut them off.
Okay. I always turn mine off, but it's better to leave them spinning.
Everybody thinks they're saving the batteries is why.
Yeah, and you are. I mean, they come with a DC regulator pack, so you can always run them off of ship's power, which is what I recommend.
Yeah. Just plug them right into a cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
Which are not so available on new boats like they used to be.
Or a USB cable.
Yeah,
like mine has a USB.
Yeah, you could hook them up to some kind of USB connection. You just need 12 or 24 to be pumping through there. It breaks it down to the 6 that the binocular needs, and then you're always running it. And so, again, it comes down to, are you going to be using them for the hour, not using them for the hour, using them for a few times over that hour? I'd rather see them, leave them on and run them versus turning them off.
Okay, I've
learned something new.
Yeah, learned something new there, because I always just set them down and shut them off. Right. Try to remember to shut them off. So it doesn't do any damage to leave them spinning.
No, you're just putting another, more time on the motor. But again, running them up 3 times and running them down 3 times over the hour versus just leaving them on, I think it's better to leave them on.
Yeah.
That's funny because it's like you compare it to what we do with the cars, and all the new cars all shut off at the light, right?
Right.
You're sitting there going, well, you're putting all that strain on the motor and the starter, so we're kind of thinking the same way. Well, but that's good.
But there's two. So you're leaving him in lock, or you?
Yeah, absolutely in locked position. I mean, and that's also, what are we talking about when we say locked? When I think locked, I think everything's fixed and not stabilized.
Yeah.
So there's no need to have them stabilizing and running there while you're not using them, but you at least have that motor running and they're ready to go.
So the motor's on.
Motor's on.
And then you turn it to lock. But what you're saying is you can just leave it on in lock.
Yeah. Well, so when you say lock, do you mean stabilized?
Yes, stabilized.
So I would unstabilize them to put them down.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you put them down, you unstabilize.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Which I think of as lock.
Lock.
Because you're thinking the opposite. But we're looking at the actual.
The
thing
it's better off to turn it when you're setting them down. Take it out of stabilize.
Correct.
Right.
But the motor's still running.
Motor's still spinning.
Yeah.
the gyro
Because
can stand
because
for
I
this
always
ride.
leave it running for the whole day.
Yeah.
And the batteries will last eight hours or something like that.
That's I think that's the move. Of course, like I said, unless you're gonna not put those binoculars up to your face for an hour or two, and then let's give the motor a break.
Ah, okay. All right. Yeah. If you're in a hot bite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let's head up to the San Francisco Bay Area right now. We have Andy Giuliano on the line from Fish Emeryville. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, Pete. Good morning, Wayne. How are you guys this morning?
Hey,
Awesome.
Great to hear from you. And
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, and Wayne introduced me to you. We had a nice conversation this week about Fish Emeryville and San Francisco Bay Area, and we do have a lot of listeners in our northern and central California area that listen to Let's Talk Hookup, and of course, a lot of people traveling to the Bay Area to talk about going fishing. Tell us about your landing and your fishery.
Yep. Thank you very much, Pete. So we have a lot of resemblances, I would say, to Seaforth Landing. A lot of similarities. We've got a dozen independently owned boats, and our harbor set up a lot like Seaforth. Our website platform, everything's very similar to that. And to give you guys kind of an idea on the unknown fishing that we have here, we have a great striped bass and halibut fishery in the spring. Just kind of as a way of context, we usually land anywhere from 12 to 14,000 halibut and bass in the spring and summertime.
Wow.
Over the summer and into the fall, we do a lot of rock cod and lingcod fishing. Last year, we landed close to 90,000 rock cod and lingcod. We fish along the coastline, San Francisco coastline. And we've got a Farallon Island chain that's about 25 miles off the coast that has some fabulous rock fishing. And then really the fishery, with the lapse of salmon in the last couple years, the fishery that's really taken over the marquee for the Bay Area is in the fall, November and December. We do rock cod and Dungeness crab combination trips where the anglers fish for rockfish. We set the crab gear, we bring it in every day. And as a matter of just context on that, this past November and December, we landed through our harbor 45,000 Dungeness crab along with full limits of rockfish. So
Wow.
pretty
And that's
robust
November,
fishery.
December?
November, December, yeah, just 2 months. We have a full fish processing. I think we're the only landing in Northern California that's got a full dockside fish processing. You get off the boat, a couple steps off the boat, the guys take care of your fish, vacuum pack it all up, commercially vacuum packed. And then there's a group that does all the crab cooking. If you want your crab cooked and clean, there's a handful of millennials up at the top of the dock there with 6 big 40-gallon pots, and you can get your crab cooked and cleaned. So you go home with your fish all packaged up and your crab all cooked and clean, ready to eat.
Wow, that sounds like super fun times. And so what is the grade of the striped bass that you catch there in the bay?
I would call them the firecracker size, from keeper size up to 10 to 12 pounds. It's a pretty robust fishery. That fishery itself depends a lot on the freshwater. When we get good rainy winters like we were headed for this year or the last few years, that pushes the fish down into the bay. And when we fish for the bass, we're also catching halibut depending on the tides. We may target one at one particular time and then another at another time. So those fish usually come part and parcel with each other on the live bait trips. And all those trips are live bait for the most part. We have a fabulous live bait fishery inside the bay, great live bait receiver that provides us with live bait from the springtime all the way into the fall.
Wow. And so when you're talking spring, are you starting in March?
We do. We'll start some trips in March. We won't have live bait in March, so we'll start trolling with frozen bait. The fish move into the shallows, real shallow water, 3 to 15 feet. And we have an unimaginable area of bottom structure to fish for the halibut. So
Inside the bay, right?
Yeah, inside the bay. Yeah, absolutely. Inside San Francisco Bay, the South Bay, down by the San Francisco airport is the hot spot generally at the beginning of the season.
Ah, interesting. Wow.
So what are the types of boat sizes and capacities that you have up there in your fleet?
That's a great question, Wayne. So I said about a dozen full-time boats, and that would be a mix of 6-pack boats and then certified boats, Coast Guard certified boats, and those generally take 18 to 20 people. So they're 50 to 56-foot boats, Delta Marine standard Northwest charter boats, Westport charter boats that are certified. So we don't run. We cut down like a lot of boats did after COVID. So you won't really get on a boat with more than 18 or 20 people on those trips.
Nice.
Well, we're used to we like these limited loads and a lot of rail space. It's more fun for most of us, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. And so the striped bass fishery, is it a light tackle fishery, the halibut fishery too?
Well, I would, light tackle, like 10 to 20 pound test, light bait bass rod like that. Very easy, and it's definitely finesse fishing. It's dependent on the tides and really the current. So when you get a lot of current, the bass like that, and we'll fish real specific rock piles or shoals for the stripers. And those times, the halibut tend to be spread out over the flat bottom, and you'd want to target those when the tide mellows out or turns around and slows down. So,
what's your technique on catching the halibut?
Well, for trolling can be really effective. We used to say the only thing live bait catches sometimes is anglers, but the trolling can be exceptionally good. Sometimes even better when you have some weather, you have to wind or something, you can keep the boat steady. But live bait, a 3-way live bait leader with a light sinker, 4 or 6 ounce sinker, lighter sinker, and a 5-foot live bait leader with a 1/0 owner or Gamakatsu hook generally is the go-to for that.
Very nice. So what about salmon? You going to have a salmon season this year?
Well, we are. Hopefully Craig Schumann will help us out with that, and we'll start our meeting. We'll start our meetings here at the end of February. We have a California meeting, and then it'll go on to the National Marine Fisheries meeting the first part of March. And we did get, all this is going to sound bizarre too, but we ended up fishing a total of 6 days last year for salmon. It's the way it rolled out, and we had fabulous fishing, and it was full speed limit style fishing for all 6 days. They were broken up into June and September, and it's a lot of the modeling, the way things came up. But the kingfish, and these are all king salmon, by the way, but the king salmon forecasting along the west coast of North America is really challenging. So, they didn't think there was many fish, and when we went out there, you put the gear in, and it was full speed fishing, all limit style fishing for the guys. So we're optimistic, bouncing back this year, because that's really been, the mainstay of Northern California, particularly the Bay Area, has been king salmon. That's it. And I will tell you, full disclosure, Sitka, Alaska is my favorite place, but I'd rank, when we have our salmon fishery here, I'd put it up against any king salmon fishery on the West Coast.
And the limit was 2 per person, right?
Yeah, you get 2 per person per day, 4 in possession. Yeah.
Wow.
So for the people down here in Southern California that don't know anything about the Bay Area, give them a little understanding of how you guys are networked out, because down here we're used to Sport Fishing Association of California that manages our fleet. We have CCA California to help us with the recreational fishing. Up there, you guys have GGFA and GSSA, right?
Yeah, the GSSA is more salmon and water related. GGFA, which is Golden Gate Fishermen's Association, that's really a group of charter boats that, and we're affiliated with SAC now. We're a subgroup of SAC. So that's been around for 55 years, along with our landing's been in place, by the way, since 1972. So there's a long heritage of sport fishing here in the Bay Area, and it kind of gets overmatched by all the commerce and the bridges and Alcatraz and Golden Gate Bridge, but we have some surprisingly good fishing in spite of everything else.
And for those that don't know where Emeryville is, where is Emeryville?
So we're centrally located in the East Bay. We're just next to Berkeley, and we're out on a peninsula, and the harbor, as I said, the harbor's been there since 1972, and we can access any parts of the bay. The live bait dock is super close, and then it gives us great, almost every king salmon in Northern California swims through San Francisco Bay at some point.
Yep.
So, for our fishery, June, July, August, September, we've got fish passing through and waves coming through here at different times, schools moving through. So,
And the Sacramento River fishery this year was phenomenal, right?
yeah, Sacramento had great returns. We've had great success with some of the hatcheries, particularly the McCollum River hatchery really has kept the ocean fishing alive. They've done a fabulous job moving fish around, trucking fish around. And I have to give the state did do a lot when we had the drought, those 3 years of drought that really set back the salmon. And the state did do a great job specifically. I shout out to Department of Fish and Wildlife for really pulling out every corner they could to try to get these fish back to the river and then back down to the ocean.
Wow, fantastic! Wow, what a fantastic fishery. Who knew? But you guys, right? We didn't. Yeah. I didn't know. But it's what an amazing fishery. So I'm driving out the Bay Bridge toward Berkeley from San Francisco. Is it that peninsula that you look down Bay to the right?
To the left.
To the left. Okay.
If you're coming across the San Francisco Bay Bridge into the Oakland, into the East Bay, we're the first exit on the left.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a picture of where it is now. Yeah, Fish Emeryville. Is that the website? FishEmeryville.com.
That is, and if you log on there, it looks, it's modeled off of Seaford, Fisherman's Landing, all those guys down there. You guys are really the epicenter of sport fishing in the world. So we found no need to recreate everything. We take a look at what you guys are doing and try to mimic that.
Yeah. You have a pair of gyro binoculars on the boat?
No, we could though, because our boats move around a lot. We have some springtime wind here, but I was listening to the program there out when I was on the walk, and it sounds like I'll be at the as a patron or visitor, I'll be at the San Diego show, so I may stop by the booth.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you.
Go by and see Anthony. I think you'll be hooked for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, sounds great.
Andy, great. We'll have to have you back. Maybe spend a full 2 hours talking about your great fishery there. It sounds really fantastic. FishEmeryville.com. Andy Giuliano, thank you for the time, and good luck fishing.
All right, Pete, Wayne, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right. Nice to hear from you. Appreciate that. Wow, sounds like a thing we got to do.
Boy, if you want to get up north and get out there and you don't know where to go, this is one of those places. One thing that he really just kind of brushed over, but you know how we're active in our fisheries management at all levels of federal and state.
Right.
You hear him. He's talking about that they are very active up there.
Yeah.
For the Northern California fleet, with the salmon fleet. John with the sea wolf. He is actually on Pacific Fisheries Management Council on the highly migratory species committee. And they're very active. So we see them at all the meetings. That's how I know them.
Yeah. They're forced to be engaged because
it's their livelihood. And they've been hurt probably worse than all of us because of the salmon closures, Dungeness crab closures, whale entanglement issues, striped bass, and then the Pacific halibut, along with California halibut restrictions, and now white sturgeon got listed, and so that's only a catch and release now. Yeah. So they got hurt left and right up there, and they're still standing
for sure. No, but FishEmeryville.com, really something I'm going to put on my list for sure to go check those guys out.
Absolutely.
Definitely. You have a great text, huh?
Yeah, we do. Brenton Torrance is saying, good morning. On the website, it says you do compass repair and adjustments. Can you explain what that's involved with?
Yeah, we've been doing that since
backbone of your business.
The very beginning. Yeah, that's kind of how we started. So every compass, if you put it out in the middle of a field, it's reading north, south, east, and west, and it's accurate. You put it onto a boat, you've got a monitor and an engine and a this and a that, and it's pulling it off a little bit. So not only do we do the repairs on those compasses after a certain amount of time, domes and O-rings need to be replaced, but we'll adjust the compass as well. So we're adjusting for any magnetic interference on the boat. To get you pointed in the right direction.
To where north is truly north.
North is truly magnetic north.
Magnetic. Explain that. The difference between magnetic north and true north.
Yeah. So true north is here in San Diego. The difference would be 11.5 degrees.
That much.
As you travel north, I think up in the San Francisco area, we're at like 8 or 9. I do some compass adjustments in Guam, and we're almost at 0 there, magnetic versus true.
Okay, because it's on the equator.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to do with latitude as much as it's longitude, actually. Depending on where you're traveling outwards away from those bands of magnetism on the Earth, it changes. So, we take that into account when we adjust a compass here. And as it's adjusted here, you can go anywhere else in the world and you're still reading accurately.
So what do you adjust to magnetic north or true north?
To magnetic north.
Magnetic north.
So if I'm using true north as a reference, I have to then take that change variation into account when adjusting the compass.
Okay, so hang on a sec, because I just got confused a little bit.
Yeah.
You're saying you're going to hit magnetic north, you adjust it here, but as you go to other places around the world, the magnetic north is at a different position. But if I adjust it here and I travel there, I'm still good.
Yeah. So what you would be doing is taking that variation into account when looking at your chart.
Oh, okay.
So on your chart, you have like mine has a compass on it, and is that magnetic north?
So it'll show both. It'll show you your true north, and then it'll show your variation. So if we're here and looking at a San Diego chart, it'll actually probably show 12.5, even though it really is 11.5 now. What the variation is locally here. So if you were to take a land shot or a bearing, or be using true north on your GPS, you would take that into account when you're navigating. Most GPSs have magnetic and true, and most of them, I think, are running in magnetic as a default.
Okay. Now, what about, I have 25-foot boat, and it has one of the basic compasses on that. Is that going to be in magnetic or true?
Yeah, a magnetic compass is always going to be shooting magnetic.
Okay.
So the only thing you would want to take into account is if you were actually looking at a chart and you figured out which direction you had to go, then you'd have to figure out what your magnetic heading would be on that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so it's something to think about if you're looking at your GPS and it's telling you you're traveling in at 180. Are you traveling true or magnetic if you're trying to match that up with your compass? I have a lot of folks, the magnetic compass is reading 12 degrees off. It's like, well, are you using true as your standard? And then we should be about 12 degrees off here.
Okay, so and so that's if your electronics go out and you have to rely on that compass.
Yeah,
everybody should know that.
Yep.
Old school.
Point it west and come home.
Yeah,
right?
There you go.
Or point it east. Sorry,
Yeah,
point it east and come home.
Point it west if you're going to Hawaii.
Yeah, we're going to be out there a while.
Well, when we come back, we'll have lots more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We'll have more great texts and time with Anthony from Baker Marine. You stay tuned on Let's Talk Hookup on Facebook and YouTube Live and the Let's Talk Hookup app.
The lighter the bite and the cleaner the water means one thing. Need a thinner leader, more natural presentations. That's where Seaguar Gold Label leader material shines. It's Seaguar's thinnest leader material yet. That means it's even less visible underwater and creates more natural presentations, better catch rates on leader-shy fish. With exceptional knot and tinsel strength, this advanced leader material is now available from 2-pound test for fishing trout in the Sierra to 80-pound test for big yellowfin in Guadalupe. Get Seaguar Gold Label at your favorite tackle dealer or learn more at seaguar.com.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or a fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at royalstarsportfishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
Time to talk about the great gear from Shimano, and I got to tell you, when you're talking about bass, there's only one reel. That's Tranks. Mark Bush was talking about that great bass fishing up and down the coast right now, and bass is a backbone right now in the wintertime, and we love bass fishing. And I don't know about you, Wayne, but that Tranks 300, my go-to right there.
300 and the 400, they're just the right fit in your hand. They're silky smooth, the castability, the power of the torque on the handle. It's just so good.
Yeah, it's a game changer if you fishing something else. I mean, of course, Corrado for years was the stuff.
Absolutely.
But then you move, and still Corrado is great, but when you move into Tranks, especially handling big saltwater fish or stuff like that, with that 300, 400, you could catch a yellowtail, you could catch a tuna on it, you could catch a lot of different species.
And we're getting lazy because of the level wind also. So
Shimano at your local Shimano
You're
dealer.
pursuing big game fish. The right gear is essential. Not just the rod, reel, and line, but the right pair of binoculars too. So upgrade your gear to the best pair of Fujinon stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Baker Marine has been selling binoculars for decades, and more importantly, they service all brands right there at their San Diego Shelter Island location. Need the best? Fujinon Stabiscopes are the professional's choice. Looking for top-tier stabilization at a great price? The Fujinon TechnoStabi TSX 1440s deliver rock-steady vision even in rough waters, perfect for serious anglers. Baker Marine is the largest Fujinon retailer on the West Coast, and when you buy from them, they'll be there when your binoculars need service. Plus, they'll give you a great price on all in-stock Fujinon binoculars. Stop by their store on Shelter Island in San Diego and test a pair of Fujinon binoculars and see which ones are right for you. They even have compact and lightweight Fujinon stabilized binoculars for your next vacation or hunting trip. You know you need a pair of stabilized binoculars, so get them from the experts at Baker Marine. Learn more at bakermarine.com.
welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great show with Anthony from Baker Marine. And if you want to participate, don't forget, we're on the Let's Talk Hookup app. Don't forget to download the app and text the show. Make sure you add your name and your phone number so that if you're at the end of the day and we flip this coin, you want to be able to win this pair of Costa sunglasses. One lucky caller or texter will win these sunglasses, the Reef 10 Pro with the gray frame, gray silver mirror, and the 580 glass.
Yeah, Matt in the LA area says, good morning, guys. Great show. Question from Anthony. What is the biggest mistake people make when maintaining their binoculars? I have a pair of Techno Stabbies, and I want them to last.
Yeah, I mean, we've covered the battery issue. That is the biggest mistake, leaving the batteries in. But I will mention, where you put them after you found the fish is important. People get excited and just, I got to put them down, go back, go down and start doing some fishing. That's usually when bad things happen. They fall down, they fall off of a shelf, fall out of the tower. Just really thinking about where you're putting them down. Those are the two biggest things.
Yeah,
Other than
and slip mats up on the bridge are good.
Yep, absolutely. A little box for the binoculars is good. And then we mentioned before the cleaning. If you're on a small skiff and you're just getting blasted by salt water all day, cleaning those off with some soapy water and not just rubbing that dry salt into the glass is important.
Soapy water.
Soapy water.
Yeah. You and are both the Techno Stabby and the Stabby Scope both waterproof?
Yeah. They'll both take a submersion. They're both
So you can
O-ring sealed, nitrogen purged. You don't have to worry about.
So
getting
if you
them wet.
get drenched and they get, so do you just want to lightly hose it off, or you want to put it in a bucket?
I wouldn't submerge them. Just a light mist, spray bottle mist, or even under a faucet, as long as it's not cranking hot water and really pushing water in and under the rubber. That's where I would worry about getting too much water on them.
Yeah.
The binoculars waterproof, but you don't want to get water underneath the rubber
Force the
parts and have it start to weaken the glues and things like that. But get the glass wet, get the glass assemblies wet, wipe the bodies down with a damp rag.
Do they float?
The Techno Stabby does. The Stabby Scope sinks like an anchor.
Oh, is that right? But the Techno Stabby.
The Techno Stabby.
I wouldn't have known they floated.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The new one floats. Don't
new
go
one
testing
floats.
this out on your old Techno Stabby.
Is that the ones that are colored? That one?
Yeah. The blue, black,
The
and
blue,
yellow.
black, and
ones.
yellow ones.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
The Techno Stabby.
Mhm. And we do offer float straps. They're kind of bulky, but they will save you.
Yeah,
and they're nice, brightly colored.
The ones that have the float on the back.
Mhm.
Of the strap.
All right. Little life jacket for your binoculars.
There you go. Always good to have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wayne?
Hey, we got a good text coming in. Reggie from Mission Bell Mafia. Good morning, guys. I have a testimonial for the TSX 1440 Techno Stabbies binoculars. We don't own a boat, but we decided to purchase a pair of binoculars from Baker Marine at the PCS show last year. We took them down to Cedros, and our Panga captain, Javier, fell in love with them. Since we go down there a few times a season, we decided to let Javier keep them during the season. Javier kept on raving about how they're made and a big difference for him being able to find schools of yellowtail. Yeah, huge.
Yeah. What a bonus for those guys.
Yeah, that's nice.
I
We bring them
was
down.
saying the same thing to take them down there because we're doing a lot of sight fishing trying to find those schools.
Yeah, and they don't do much of that naturally down there. We just did a trip down to Puerto Vallarta and did a day fishing and brought them with, and the captains down there were like, wow.
Costa Rica,
oh boy,
the Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Game changer for those guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, a lot of people want to know about maintaining and keeping this investment, because it is an investment.
Absolutely.
And so if you maintain, if you take it into you, just have them take a look at it once in a while. How long will a pair of Techno Stabbies or Stabby Scopes last?
Yeah, our commercial guys are going through a Stabby Scope, repair every 3 to 5 years, and I'd say that's probably the same on a Techno Stabby. Guys like myself that are more going out, a few times a month, 10 years or so, 10 years or more.
Wow.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some Stabby Scopes that I get from sport fishing boats that haven't seen a motor in 10 or 12 years.
Wow.
But on average, I'd say it's more like 5. They're running them all day long, every single day for most of the year. So that, time does do its damage, but our typical, prosumer, if you will, gets a good 10 years out of a pair of binoculars before it needs to be rebuilt. And that's the beauty of the Fujinon product. It's all rebuildable. You can fix it. It's not a throwaway binocular by any means.
When somebody like Frank brings in the Royal Polaris binoculars, how many pair they have on that
Oh
boat?
gosh, I can't even count now. I know the Supreme just dropped off 2, and I think they still have 2 on the boat. So they're typically running 4. I know
4.
American Angler has maybe 6.
Yeah. Each guy has a pair.
Yeah.
Well,
and then
it's-
an extra and a
it's
spare. And
It's a critical pair of eyes for finding fish.
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
You'll have one guy up on the Royal Polaris. You'll have one guy up in the bucket. Sometimes you'll have one sitting on top of the house and 2 guys downstairs, in the house or on the fly bridge there, scoping. So at least 4.
Yeah.
But I like your idea for the guy, just the weekend angler that's going out. You have a pair of Techno Stabbies or the full Stabby Scope, and then a pair of the 7x40 Bakers for guest binos. That's all.
And the beauty of
really
those
is what you need.
750s is that they're just so easy to use. You
Yes.
get them focused for your eyes, and it's just throw them up to your eye, use them. There's very little learning curve on using a binocular like that. Whereas the Techno Stabby may take a quick 5-minute lesson on how to use them. So it's easy to hand them off and a little bit less expensive to hand off.
The longer training is making sure that people are safe with them and don't drop them.
Yeah.
That's the longer speech.
Put the neck strap
Put the neck strap on. That's the key. So focusing. That's another thing. You need to focus to your eyes, right?
Mhm,
And that's why having the extra set of binoculars is so important. You may hand them to your guest, say, hey, you want to look through these, but he's going to readjust them, and then you got to change it all back, right?
Correct, yeah.
Every eye is going to be different. What's the best way to focus?
Well, there's 2 different styles of focus. You have a center focus system, which the Techno Stabbies are. And then you have an individual eye focus system, which the Stabby Scopes are and my Bakers are. So individual focus is you're focusing each eye individually at about 100 yards, and everything should be in focus until you get pretty close.
Okay.
With that center focus system, you've got a single focus that's focusing both eyes at the same time, and then an offset on one side. So it's very handy for quickly close focusing or quickly focusing out to,
That's
2 or
the
3
Techno.
miles. That's the Techno Stabby. So that's got a little bit more of a learning curve on how to figure it out. Most people will start, okay, I can twist this eye here. Let me get that eye in focus, which is actually the wrong way of doing it. You want to get that center focus wheel focused first with your fixed eye, which is your left eye. Then
Center focus, meaning the general focus.
the general main focus wheel
Right.
that's focusing both eyes, but your left eye is fixed. So you want to get that one focused in first. Once that left eye is in focused at about 100 yards, you would then adjust your right eye to match that left eye.
Okay.
It's a little bit hard to explain
No, I
without
get it.
having it in
I
front of
always
me
thought it
here.
was the other
but-
way around too. I thought that's good.
So yeah, get your fixed eye in first.
Fixed
then
eye is always the left.
The left.
Huh.
Most of the time on a binocular, I want to say probably 95% of the time. It's the one that doesn't have
So
a
you
diopter
close your right
adjustment.
eye?
Okay.
You can, or just hold the hand up to it. If you can't close your right eye,
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can
have
close
hard-
my left eye, but
eye
not
is
my
no
right
problem.
eye.
Same.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get that left eye in focus, fine tune your right eye. Now all of your adjustment is now done on that wheel. You're no longer adjusting that right eye. It's set it and forget it type of thing. So that it is quicker and easier to use once you've gotten over that first step of setting them up for you.
Yeah.
The beauty of the individual eye focus is once you've got them set for each eye at about 100 yards, everything should be in focus, and they're very easy to use.
Do you use the gyro or the electronic focus when you're doing the focus, or no? Best to leave it off.
For demonstration purposes, I always like to have people set them up not stabilized.
Okay.
Get them dialed in and then see that wow
And
factor.
then, yeah.
It's probably just more of me liking to see the wow factor.
Sure.
It's probably easier to set up in stabilization so you can really get a good image of what you're looking at.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong.
It's interesting. You talk about that wow factor. I think if for people that haven't experienced stabilized binoculars, but if you've ever watched a seakeeper boat on the water, when they have it off, they rock the boat and they turn it on and it stops rocking.
Yeah,
right.
That's your best example of what the stabilizer does to you, for you.
Yeah. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Well, all you have to do is turn on a pair of either the stabby scopes or the techno stabbies. You turn it on and it's like, what just happened,
Yeah,
right?
It's fun to watch people's faces, even
Yeah.
at the shows where we're standing on hard ground
Right.
and there's nothing, and they're holding the binoculars as still as they can, and then they fire them off, and it's just you see the face light up. And, oh my gosh!
And wait till you get on something moving.
Yeah, you get on a boat, and
Yeah.
it's the wow factor is multiplied.
Absolutely.
Definitely. You have a good text, huh?
Yeah, Tom, he wrote, he said, "Hey, I just watched a video on YouTube about the internals of a 1440 running. Very cool."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got I no doubt he was looking at the clear version, which we will have at the show. It's a demonstration unit, so we can actually see what's going on inside the binocular while it's doing it, and it's very cool. So I encourage everyone, if you're at the show, come swing by, get a demo. I'll show you what the insides of that look like.
There's a lot going on in there.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and that's the stabby scope.
That's the techno stabby.
Oh, the techno stabby.
The techno stabby. The stabby scope is also impressive to look at. I will not have a clear version of that. That doesn't exist. But if you do want to stop by the shop and just see what that's all about, I usually have one open on the bench and I can show you.
Especially this time of the year.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah. Another great text here. I'll bring it up here for you. Is from Charles in San Juan Capistrano. I wish to thank you for the show because you activate grand memories of my fishing and I relived those days. My question is, can your guests discuss the actual glass composition and maker along with the best practices for cleaning? We already talked about cleaning. So the composition of the glass?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's soft. Well, that's more of the coatings. Composition of the glass is a good, hard, clear glass. That's all Fujinon uses. They don't use any of the cheaper options in glass quality. And then their coating is just the multi-coated electro beam coating, best in the business. They use it in all their cameras, all of their sports cameras. They do a lot of what's it called? Imaging for healthcare as well.
Oh, sure.
Some of their glasses used for that. So they're top of the line as far as glass quality. And then again, the coatings that they put on those glasses.
To protect the lens.
Protect and color correction, all of that, aberrations and whatnot.
Now the filter, the polarized filter, is that a Fujinon glass?
It is.
It is.
That's why I really like their filter. I've been pushing for the last 6 months to get them to get me more.
That
of
really
them.
comes from the camera side,
Mhm.
that technology.
Mhm.
I'm sure you could add other filters on top too if you wanted to do it. I know we saw a text come up that talked about filters and trying to be able to use your cell phone camera against the binocular at some point. Is there kind of a retrofit to the iCup?
There is and isn't. A few of the folks back at Fujinon have built some rigs to be able to do that, but it's more for promotional,
Right.
video and whatnot.
Sure.
It would be cool to have something set up to where you could take some.
I know I've seen other retrofits to go on the camera, which is like a little binocular, telescope, whatever you want to call it. But the hard part, you don't have the stabilization when you have that kind of distance. And it's really hard. I bought one and I'm like, yeah, you got to put that down somewhere. You can't do it on a boat because it's rocking too much. That stabilization really comes in handy at that point.
Oh, yeah. You have another good one, huh?
I do. Rex was talking about it, and we talked about it earlier about the storage part. He says, guys, looking forward to seeing Baker Marine at PCS. Do the Fujinons come with a protective case, or is there, or if there is a case from Anthony that he recommends?
Yeah, they come with a case. It's a nylon case with a plastic inlay. It's a decent case. It'll do the job. I do recommend a hard Pelican for that, and I typically have those in stock for about $80. And it's a
no-brainer investment for your for
for
the
sure.
Pelican case. It's not only waterproof,
Mhm.
Moisture-proof, right? You put some desiccant in there.
ring sealed, throw a desiccant in.
Yeah, and it's hard.
And if you're
it's gonna-
traveling,
Yeah,
if you're traveling with them,
yeah,
it's recommended.
Yeah, for sure. Another one here from John in Whittier says, good morning, interest. So is there a console mount made for the scopes? Could see myself just putting it down somewhere and watching it slip into the drink. I personally have actually made out of made like out of what's the white stuff that you make?
Starboard.
Starboard. I've made like a case like mounted on the side of the boat out of starboard. Works pretty well.
Mhm.
Is there something that is manufactured that would fit a Stabiscope or a Technostabby?
I've seen for the Technostabby, yes, I've seen them at some of the boat stores. It's a excuse me, like a starboard type of thing, which you've built. I've built them in the past. Had guys build them up, 10 or so of us for us. Something I should think about.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea because just something that mounts on the side of your console or whatever and allows you to just slip those right in there. It's not going to roll around or anything like that. I actually have a spot in the front of my dash where I have a piece of sea deck, and I put it's just a piece of sea deck, and I just rest one edge of the binoculars on the sea deck, and it doesn't slip.
Yeah,
it's like kind of a, rather than putting it straight on the fiberglass, you put it on the edge of the sea deck, and it doesn't move.
Yeah, we normally use the anti-slip mats.
Yeah, that would be another.
I think that's most of the time. It's going to slide across a slick surface and then go.
Yeah, that's what
The
you
one
don't
where you
want.
put it down on your seat, thinking, "Oh, I'm just going to come back to it," and the boat's rocking.
Yeah, I see that, and I see a lot of hanging it by the strap, and then it
banging.
You start to pendulum around the boat,
and that's not
It'll
good.
take a couple of bumps,
Not
but you
good.
take a good hard one at the right spot, and
But yeah.
you'll need a repair.
But yeah, somebody creative could create a kind of a useful, because it'd be two different for the Technostabby and the Stabby, two different sizes.
Most of the sport boats here usually will get a little teak box made where they can stick them in sideways with the handle and pull them out.
See those a lot in the wheelhouse.
Yep.
And they're right there. They're stable. Boat
Ready to
rocks.
go.
You're not going to have it, but something definitely worth the investment.
But interesting that we talked about it earlier. You're saying if I put those down in there and I'm going down it, but I know I'm going to come back real quick, not to turn them off. To keep them running.
Yeah, keep them running.
Which we always turn them off.
Yeah. But not in the lock position or the gyro position.
Right.
Not-
Yeah. You
can
want
leave 'em
everything
running,
closed up and
but-
locked. Well, see, what I think of as locked is locked down and not moving inside. I get.
Yeah. But when you're not looking through them, you definitely don't want to, like, there's two adjustments when you on I would think on the Technostabbies too, where it's running and then you lock the image. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you don't want to always have the image locked. You want to have it running but not locked.
Correct.
Yeah.
What I call a standby mode.
A standby mode.
Yeah. On the
Yeah.
Technostabby, if you're looking at it, it would be one light on versus the two lights on. When you're
Right.
stabilized with the Technostabby, both of those lights are on the buttons. You want it to be one light on, just in that standby, ready to go.
Yeah.
So we've had multiple texts come in. I mean, we talk about all the different levels, the sizes, the styles and everything. And I'll just say it. Go to bakermarine.com because they're all just listed right there. Sizes, prices, everything. Or better yet, come to PCS or go to Baker Marine. And right here in San Diego, just go in there and go look at them and test them and go talk to Anthony.
Yeah.
Or come to the show. He'll be in the booth. I mean, until you put them in your hand and experience it and find the one that's right for you, you can't talk about it enough, right? The experience when you have them and you're on a boat or you're on land and you're trying to stabilize a binocular that's powerful, you don't understand how important the stabilization really is to what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And then also visiting the Baker Marine facility on Shelter Island is you can actually look on the water. You just look right out their front window there, and you can try the different types, and Anthony and Brian will actually guide you through whatever is the proper.
Absolutely. We've got a great view at the shop. We're
Yeah.
looking over about a mile of water. If you come in the afternoon this time of year, you can test out the polarization on the lenses. We're looking right into the sun this time of year. So it's a nice little spot to check them out.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt about it. And so you do have at the Baker Marine facility here in Shelter Island, you have everything in stock pretty much.
Indeed.
Yeah. And so you can just, and then as we come up on the PCS, you'll have the Techno Stabby and the Stabby. And also, will you have the smaller Fujinons up there too?
Yeah, they have 4 more stabilized binoculars. They have a high-end Techno Stabby size, maybe a little bit smaller than the Techno Stabby, that's more designed for hunting. It's got a bigger objective lens than the 28 millimeters, so we're in that 1442-ish range. They make that in a 16 and a 20, so a 16 by 40 and a 20 by 40.
Still really small.
Not as small as the ones I showed you at the shop, the 28 millimeters compact. It's more of a mid-size binocular. Gotcha. I don't recommend those for on the water, but if you are looking for a big objective, stabilized, high power, so I'm talking 16 and 20 power.
Wow. Really powerful.
Yeah, very powerful. So at 20 power, it's almost, your telescope, like I mentioned before, moons on Jupiter, even to the extreme. We were able to see that, what was it, last year? Some kind of comet in the sky.
Yeah.
We were able to see that with the 20s.
With the 20s. How much more powerful is a 20 compared to a 14?
So you're multiplying your naked eye 6 more times.
Wow.
So it's a pretty substantial at 20.
Yeah.
It's a nice unit. So
Almost
really
double.
great for shooting. If even for target stuff, you're in the spotting scope range now at 20 power.
Wow.
But in your hand
and stabilized.
Yeah.
And
So no tripod.
You can't hold a spotting
dealing
scope.
with a big old spotting scope. It's a good sized binocular. They're very nice. So I'll have those there. Great unit. I'll have their compacts there. I'll have the 750s. From $200 up to $900 in the 7x50s. We'll have it all.
Well, let me ask you this real quick. Well, when you're going up to a 16 power and stuff, what kind of distance are we realistically looking at to stabilize that?
Yeah, so I always say it makes 16 miles look like a mile, but it all depends on how high you're able to get and how far you're looking.
Wow. Hey, and when we come back, we're going to find out who won this great Costa package. We're going to have more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way with Anthony from Baker Marine on the Facebook app, Facebook Live, and YouTube.
Looking for the ultimate Alaska fishing experience and the best value in Alaska? Look no further than Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. A trip to Kingfisher includes everything you need to make your experience legendary. The finest fishing fleet in Sitka with the best captains, deluxe accommodations, gourmet food, world-class fish processing, and the best part, it's all included for one amazing price. Kingfisher is Let's Talk Hookup's most popular destination. Hundreds of listeners have experienced Kingfisher charters, and most go back again and again. You have probably heard a lot of big promises from other Alaska lodges, only to find there were lots of hidden charges. Not Kingfisher. Everything is included. 10-hour fishing days, your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, and fishing gear. All you bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. Kingfisher Charters, your Alaska fishing destination. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, Elgato Dos, Pride, Tribute, Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay. Seasoned long-range fishermen know that the Red Rooster 3 is the finest fishing vessels in terms of technology, design, speed, comfort, and safety. This 105-foot sport fishing yacht meets every demand for comfort while delivering an unforgettable fishing vacation. Captain Andy Cates and crew are experienced, friendly, and sincere in their desire to help you have the trip of a lifetime. Book a trip on the Red Rooster 3 and you'll be back. Trips fill fast. So check redrooster3.com or call Lee Palm Sport Fisheries at 619-224-3857.
It's that time of year again. San Diego Monster Jam is back, and your San Diego County Ford dealers can get you close to the action. This month,
Monster Jam is happening at Snapdragon Stadium on January 10th and 11th. Visit your local Ford dealer to take a test drive and receive exclusive complimentary pit passes for Monster Jam. That's right. Come drive a Ford F-150, Bronco, or Explorer and get those pit passes to see Gravedigger and Velociraptor up close and personal while supplies last. Visit buyfordnow.com to find your participating local San Diego County Ford dealer for Monster Jam pit passes today. Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Catine, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Welcome back. We're going to have Anthony flip the coin right now to find out who's winning that great Coastal Prize package.
All right, who's it going to be?
Whoa, good flip, man.
And
it's a texter.
It's a texter.
Hey, way to go. John and Whittier. Congratulations, John. And you win that thing. And Anthony, great job. How do we find you?
Always stop by the shop on Shelter Island. You can reach us at 619-222-8096 or on the web, www.bakermarine.com.
You can buy online too.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And then, of course, you'll not only be at the two PCS shows, Costa Mesa and Del Mar, you'll also be at Day at the Docks on April 19th.
Very happy to do that show. It's a fun show.
Yeah, it's a super good day. Yeah. Well, Anthony, thanks for all you do for
Thank
the
you guys.
marine and fishermen here. We appreciate you. And thanks to you out there. Thanks to Wayne for hanging out here. Corey and I will be back tomorrow morning. Captain Jim Hughes from the Cortez will be here. That's going to be a great show. 7 and 9 a.m. We'll see you right back here. Facebook, YouTube Live, 97.3 The Fan, and, of course, that Let's Talk Hookup app. We'll see you then.